While I'm here on a vacation in Moscow, I decided to tell you about bubbles. Well, one of the most asked question and one of the misconceptions about rapid growth of Dubai's real estate is the fear that it's actually a bubble and it's unhealthy growth that will eventually burst. So let's understand if it's true, if that scenario has any chances in 2025 and in any timeline till 2030. I like the place. It's called Coffee Mania in Lubanta Square because the interiors of design, and now the same concept is opening in Dubai Hills Mall, and a lot of Russians living in Dubai Hills, in Blue Waters and Dubai Marina. We're expecting that chain to enter Dubai market together with a lot of other brands from Russia that opened in Dubai since 2022, and that's just one of 89 countries investing in Dubai, and with the same appeal for business environment and for doing business in Dubai, people all over that places are coming to open some kind of business in F&B, in retail, in creating products. So that's another answer if it's a bubble or if it's a magnet. It's a global destination. Now today we will talk about bubbles. One of the most common questions, one of the fears actually of people is that they will get into some kind of bubble. Trying to act smart, of course, people are trying to understand what are the risks, still safe to invest, or it's late, or all the growth is done, and now the current prices in Dubai will be keeping at the same level for the next decade. Now, if we Google, and I'll do it with you, first, we should understand the definition. That's where 80% of people fail. When you ask them what actually is a bubble that you are fearing, they cannot tell you. They will describe anything but bubble. Economic bubble, economic bubble is can occur at any time, and that the price of a good rises far above the item's real value. Now that's the key definition. There are a lot of them, but I'm using the Investopedia.com definition. I like it more. And bubbles are typically attributed to a change in investors' behavior, although what causes this change in behavior is debated. Another is an economic cycle that is characterized by the rapid escalation in market value, particularly in the price of assets like real estate. And the fast inflation is followed by a quick decrease in value or a contraction that is sometimes referred to as crash or bubble burst. Now, and what describes bubble is an economic context, generally a situation where the price for something, for an asset, or even entire sector, exceeds its fundamental value by a large margin. I think that's enough, and we will focus on this. Do we have indicators showing that the real value is far below the fair price for real estate in Dubai? Well, that's a separate videos topic, and I think if 150,000 people approximately moving to a city yearly from 89 different countries, some of the most wealthy people all around the world, and they are building business here, they are bringing their families and establishing Dubai as a base, you cannot call it purely speculative market. You cannot deny that the value is there. Market and real estate is demanded by those who need that properties. I mean, they need to rent or to buy that properties, because 150,000 people moving in need accommodation. Cannot deny this. Now, having 150,000 people means you need at least 50,000 new units per year, and current rate of handovers is approximately 30 to 35,000 units. Now, I have a separate video about that. I made, well, actually, it was my first video of understanding the Dubai's market. Now, if we get back to bubbles, another thing that we take into consideration is that when a rapid growth of an asset or a market is standing on one individual factor, let's say subsidized mortgage rates. In Dubai, we have 94% of transactions done in cash. People are not using mortgage, and the system is built to have payment plans where actually you have 3, 4, 5 years installments to be paid during property construction. So that substitutes mortgage. Of course, there are people who, and the number is growing, who use mortgage to buy properties, but it's less than 6% in all transactions volume right now in Dubai. And I'm filming this in Moscow to show you the contrast. In Moscow, we had, in Russia in general, we had in 2022-23 subsidized mortgage rates, so that you could take a mortgage with 2, 3, or 4% interest rate, and that was a really interesting investment opportunity, because inflation, unofficial inflation rates were close to 12-15% in Russia, and the currency exchange rates were rapidly changing. Ruble lost during 1 year 60% of value. So real estate, and especially mortgage with a fixed interest rate, was an instrument of preserving wealth, preserving money, if you are locked in country. Now, a lot of people are also using real estate in UAE for this goal, but let's get back to what happened in Moscow. With this single measure, government tried to support developers and to fuel the growth of number of transactions with real estate. But at the same time, when an interest rate was set by central bank at 20%, and mortgages are 22-25%, it's annual interest rate on your mortgage. Can you imagine? The single growth factor hit back, and now there is no liquidity in the market. The prices grew, yes, on paper, but nobody is actually buying the properties. We had that less than 5% cash buyers. We still have them, but it's not enough to support the market. Now, that's a dangerous situation, especially in the market like Moscow, where you don't have international buyers. Well, Moscow is a market for all the for all the people from Russia to buy properties. It's true, but again, the number of transactions and the people with money is fading. It's not enough, and that's where a risk of bubble occurs. Still, prices didn't go down. People are enduring these mortgage rates, and developers are enduring these mortgage rates and drop in sales volume. But if we get back to Dubai, we have from 4 to 6% mortgage buyers, 94-95% cash buyers from 89 different countries. Are we in kind of any bubble risk? We could be if it was purely speculative market. Nobody needed that properties. Nobody was moving to Dubai, and every second buyer from the initial investor was also an investor. That happened back in 2006, 2008, but it's not the case anymore. Back then, Dubai was 3 times smaller city that didn't offer that level of lifestyle that it has today. So that's one of the reasons why people are moving. There are a lot of them actually. Safety, healthcare, education, environment for doing business, tax regulations, and a lot of other things like, in general, what we call lifestyle and environment for doing business. So all that things are some of the best in the world right now that urban development can offer. In this case, we cannot tell that every property bought in Dubai is speculative. It's investors only that are chasing further growth. Well, in fact, we have a lot of home buyers and users who need affordable properties, but with this price growth, they need to grab anything that they can afford because Dubai's rapid growth will continue at least till 2030. Because the only point I say when Dubai's real estate market growth will stop is 2030, because by that time we might see some corrections in strategy of Dubai's development. By the way, according to current strategy of urban development, Dubai will grow from current 3.8 million population to 5.8 million population by 2040. So this growth in number of people moving to the city is planned, is healthy, and it will continue till 2040. So I think that in 2030 we will have kind of balance in the market of demand and supply. That's the point where we might see some, slowdown of property growth. So before that time, I don't see any reason, any single point, what can tell us that Dubai is a bubble. If you know any point, let me know in the comments. Growth itself is not an indicator of a bubble. We should forget that. That's illiterate. Growth itself cannot be called bubble. Bubble has a definition. We talked about that. It has indicators. We talked about that. And you cannot just throw around any random words that you hear from someone. You should always look into the very definition and meaning of every term that people are using. So, and another point every other agent is parroting is global UBS global bubble index. Well, it can be referred to, but there's nothing else that the experts in UBS can use what you don't have in your reach in Google. Number of transactions with property, number of those who take property from investment cycle, from the market. They are called end users or home buyers. If you don't have that people, then there will be a point where investor cannot sell his property to the next investor. So this is kind of bubble indicator when there are only investors on the market. If there are no end users, no people who need that properties. So if you have them, if you have investors, end users, investors in rental properties, investors in capital appreciation, it's a healthy market. So let's end the speculations. Happy New Year, and I hope it will be successful for all of us.